Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our parent webinar on Chromebooks that we will be introducing to our Year 7s in September. I'd like to start by handing over to Mrs. Pandia, our head teacher, who is going to welcome you all.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. I'm really excited and delighted that we're going to be able to launch our EdTech programme this September with your daughters in Year 7, and I hope that you are as excited as we are. Ms. Totti has been working really hard in the background preparing this presentation for you this evening, which I hope will not only answer some questions that you may have already had, but also give you plenty more details into how this whole scheme is going to work. Thank you also to Dr. Finch and Ms. Kirk, who have joined us this evening to give you some examples of how the Chromebooks will be utilised to enhance teaching and learning across Year 7. So I'm not going to say very much more, as I don't need to. Passing back to Ms. Totti, thank you again for joining us this evening, and I look forward to meeting you again next week when you join us for the induction evening. So till then, thank you. Over to you, Ms. Totti.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pandia. So the purpose of this webinar, this presentation, is to give you a range of information. We're going to explain what a Chromebook is and the rationale behind the scheme, to discuss Google Workspace for Education, which is what we're going to be using, how Chromebooks will help your child's learning, and you'll hear from Dr. Finch and Ms. Kirk about how they would utilise it in their classrooms. I'm going to show you the specification of the Chromebooks that we are offering to you and how to order them. And then at the end, I'm just going to answer a few of the frequently asked questions that we've received over the last few weeks to hopefully give you the answers that you need, and then go through some next steps. And there will be an opportunity for you to fill in a form if you have any further questions after this evening, but hopefully we will cover everything and answer all the kind of questions that you have. So just to give you a bit of a timeline on this, obviously on the 6th of May when you came in, we introduced Chromebooks to you, and that we wanted to have them in September for our Year 7s. Today we're presenting to you and giving you more information about that. We have set, and I'll go through this in more detail later, a deadline of the 8th of July to order a Chromebook, so to ensure that we have the devices for the 2nd of September, so students can start using them as soon as they start school in September. And then throughout the autumn term, we will be providing device training and e-safety training to be sure that they are being utilised in the right way, whether it's in the classroom or outside of the classroom. So what is a Chromebook? One of the great things about Chromebooks is they're designed to be used whilst connected to the internet, and you can have them up and ready to use within 8 seconds. They're lightweight, so they're easy to carry around, and there's no maintenance. So one of the good things about Chromebooks, they download and install software updates automatically. They don't have to be done through a click of a button or shutting down your machine. It's done automatically, so there's no worries about maintaining Chromebooks and making sure that they are up to date. They also have built-in security, which means devices are safe from any other devices and malware. So the security on them is really, really strong. And they have a really good battery life. So a battery life of up to 8 to 11 hours. So if you're thinking of a whole school day, plenty of time if they were to be used in every lesson, which may not happen, and most likely won't happen in every lesson. So they only need charging overnight. So students can come without their chargers, just their Chromebooks, and they're nice and lightweight for their bags. They are also the best-selling device in education at this time. It is a Chrome operating system. So what's great about it is that data is stored in the cloud. So all work is automatically saved. Nothing can be lost or left at home. So there'll be no more, I left my homework at home, because it will be in the cloud for them to access in school, and all work can be accessed from anywhere that they are. So whether it's in the classroom, at home, abroad, it can be accessed from anywhere because of it working with the cloud. So with that, we use Google Workspace for Education, and it's a group of cloud computing, productivity and collaboration tools and software and products that allow students to work from any device on documents and projects. So what's great about it is it's just one login that they need to access that whole cloud. And it has an office suite of tools, so a little bit like Microsoft, but just like different docs, which would be like your Word document, sheets like your Excel in a Microsoft, slides like PowerPoint. And with that suite and being in a cloud, they can share and collaborate all the work that they are working on in those tools at any time. And they work in a very, very similar way to Microsoft things that they may have been more familiar with. Like I said previously, all work automatically saves. So if they're working on something and then they shut their Chromebook to do something else, they're not going to lose anything because it automatically saves it. They don't have to click a button to save it. Work is always accessible no matter where they are, and nothing is ever lost. And this is one of the great things I think about Google Workspace for Education is you may be working on an essay or coursework and they've done one version and then they've edited it. It allows you to go back to an old version and you can recover an old version if you were happy with that rather than the newer one you've created. None of those versions are ever lost and you don't have to save them as separate versions. They're all in there and in the cloud and saved so that they can be accessed. So it's a great way that students can use that office suite to access everything that they need and utilize them for any work that they are doing, whether it's project work or homework or work in the classroom. It's a really great tool. So how will Chromebooks help your child's learning? I think some of the key things are the pace of lessons, that it could really move a lesson on much quicker. We're not handing out worksheets potentially or research documents that they need to read. They'd be on their Google Classroom, ready to access at the beginning of the lesson, and the pace of that lesson can move much quicker. The way in which teachers can monitor what's going on and seeing what students are doing will help teachers provide better feedback at a faster pace, I would say, by having the Chromebooks. These Chromebooks can also be personalised for students in terms of what maybe even their SEND needs or just their personal preferences are in terms of how large the screen needs to be, what colour writing they prefer to work in because it helps them learn better, or background that they might need for their own needs, so that they are accessing any resources, any learning materials that will work for them the best, and Chromebooks will help personalise that learning for them. We really feel that Chromebooks will promote independence and resilience for our students in that they can do things by themselves, they can research things, they can explore topics in much more depth by themselves and learn the things that they want to, and it's a great tool to use for that. It's an engagement for all students, so students can engage in something that's being tried to be delivered in a lesson by having the Chromebooks in front of them, that they can access something, they can engage with it at their own pace, and everyone's able to access it because it can be right in front of them. Like I said previously, that instant access to work and not having to worry about printing something because they need it in the lesson. It's there in their Chromebook. It provides 24/7 access to education. Not that we're expecting our students to access education 24/7, but sometimes they need to access something at different times, and it allows them to do that by having that Chromebook to access that. And it gives a lot more opportunity for collaboration within the classroom so that they can work together on projects and work on documents at the same time and collaborate without having to have separate versions and then merging them together. It allows students to really collaborate well and then go home and continue to collaborate on that because it's a shared document that they can all look at, create a conversation about and add to and really excel in their learning. So I'm just going to pass over to Dr. Finch, who's one of our English teachers here, who's going to talk a little bit about how a Chromebook would really help her in her English lessons at Townley.
Hello, it's lovely to be here with you this evening. I'm very excited to just explore some of the benefits of having the Chromebooks in an English literature lesson. First of all, I would just like to emphasize that our primary resources, books, texts, pens, etc., they will be very much a part of the class. And this technology is designed to be an enhancement, an asset. It's not a replacement as such. However, I am really excited for the opportunities it does bring to the classroom. One of the things I'll talk you through is what we do at the beginning of a new topic. So, for example, if we're doing Shakespeare or we're doing a Shakespearean play, I often get them to start off by doing a research topic. And so they'll be split into groups and they'll do different aspects of Shakespeare's life and the context, etc. And they really enjoy this as well because it's quite independent for them to go off and they love to design PowerPoints, etc. So previously what we would have done is we would have booked a computer suite, which would work really well. However, there's often times when that's unavailable during timetabled lessons, or we would have students use their phones, rely on their phones. Obviously, that comes with its own issues. Not all students will have them on them or have them charged. Some students won't have enough data. So it really does sometimes we run into some issues with that. With these new Chromebooks, the students will have this technology at their fingertips. They will be able to make a start straight away. They'll be able to work on them in the class. They'll be able to work collaboratively. They'll be able to share their screens. I just think it'll be a really good opportunity for us to basically increase productivity. We'll definitely be able to work much smarter as a team. And yeah, I think that the kids will really enjoy it. And one of the things that we use that I think especially year sevens will really embrace is Prezi. It's one of the presentation softwares that I use basically in English. And it's just incredibly creative, and it's different to PowerPoint in that they have more sort of creative choices to make. And if anyone knows a year 7 student like me, they love being creative and choosing fonts and choosing colors and choosing in like transitions, etc. So Prezi allows them to do that. It's free and it's actually very reliable. I've been using it for over 12 years now. So yeah, so that's basically my take on it. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to really, really enhance classroom productivity. I think the kids will embrace it and will enjoy it. Okay, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Finch. So some of the other things that we could say would really help with regards to Chromebooks, the real-time feedback and marking. So in a second, Ms. Kirk is going to speak a little bit about this as well, but we could really give real-time feedback because documents can be shared with us as a teacher and we can provide comments on those documents directly within the classroom, outside the classroom, and it can really enhance our marking for students as well so that they can get really effective feedback through their Chromebooks that can be saved on there and they can go back, and there's no way that's going to get lost where on a piece of paper if students aren't as organised or may lose it, that's gone. By having it through these tools, it will be saved in the cloud and it will never be lost. I think a lot of departments are really excited as well that we can get subject-specific apps on Chromebooks so they can really utilise things. I know as a geography teacher, some of the Met Office and sort of weather things that we can access specifically in year 7 when we look at that and mapping that we can look at. There's some really great apps out there, and if they all have a Chromebook and can access those apps, we can really learn a lot more and enhance that learning and take it to another level and challenge them a lot more. I think one of the really key things is that by having a Chromebook, we are preparing our students for 21st century integration of digital tools. We are becoming a digital world, and we need to ensure our students are ready for that 21st century and that they are able to continue through school and then go into that working world with the skill set they need to be able to use technology to its highest level. And by having these Chromebooks from year 7, they are going to have that because they will have, that technology, that Chromebook at their fingertips to use as often as possible and really understand that technology. We also think it will produce better homework for those students that may never have had a Chromebook for themselves or a laptop or any access to that, and maybe relying on trying to find information in a different way, they're going to have that at their fingertips to research for the homeworks and produce much better, higher standard of homework that's going to be really enhancing their learning and allowing them to excel. So I'm now going to pass over to Miss Kirk, who's one of our religious studies teachers, who's going to talk to you about low stakes testing with Google for Education.
Good evening, it's lovely to meet you all. I am Miss Kirk, I'm a religious studies teacher at Townley. I've previously worked in a Google school, so Chromebook in year 7 for next year won't be the first time I've had Chromebooks in my classroom, and I have level 1 and level 2 Google Educator certifications as well. So to echo my colleagues, I'm also really looking forward to your child having Chromebooks in the classroom next year. I found there are so many benefits to students having Google Chromebooks in the classroom, and they're certainly an asset as a learning resource. However, the two aspects that I found to be most beneficial and I'm most looking forward to utilising in the classroom next year are more efficient stakes retrieval practice and then collaboration, which I'll move on to next. So for those that don't know what low stakes retrieval practice is, it is simply the recall of previously learnt knowledge. It's a really important aspect of teaching and learning at Townley, and it provides both students and teachers with information on how well a topic has been understood, which we can then use to inform future learning. The Chromebooks will enhance retrieval practice as knowledge quizzes, which can be taken via Google form, will make it quicker, more efficient and far more personalised. Students will gain feedback. It's far quicker than using pen and paper, which makes time for other activities. It's easier for us as teachers to identify and address common misconceptions immediately, and accurate data that can be saved and tracked by teachers and students across the year as well. The second thing that I'm most looking forward to your child to be utilising in the classroom is student collaboration. Student collaboration is really important in the RS classroom at Townley. And the Google Educator platform allows students to collaborate easily both in and outside of the classroom. These apps include Google Slides, Google Docs and Google Sites, but there's a wide range of other apps that we can use and students can collaborate on. The ways in which students can collaborate via the Google Chromebook vary, but teachers can set a shared Google Doc and Google Slides for students to work on as project work. This is really beneficial because it means that we can track all the comments and edits, so we can see who's working on the document, and also we can see how the students are communicating with each other. Students can also peer assess digital work and provide constructive comments on Google Docs and Slides. And Jamboard, which you might be able to see in the bottom corner of the screen, is a sticky note app which can be used for students to share ideas. And this is particularly great at the beginning of a topic where they can ask questions on the topic that we can then go back to at the end of the term and see if we've been able to answer them. Teachers can also post exemplary student work straight to the Google Classroom stream, especially as we'll also be having Chromebooks next year. That would be really simple to do with the camera function. And the fact that students can collaborate so easily will build their teamwork skills, and that is obviously a valuable skill that we want your child to be great at and excel in. I'm really looking forward to meeting you all in September with your Chromebooks, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Kirk. So we are using Tech for Learners as a programme to provide the one-to-one devices. So what is Tech for Learners? It's a one-to-one device programme for schools and colleges, and this programme is driven by parental payments with no personal credit checks. For any parents, it's a sign up that you can do with a direct debit, and Tech for Learners drive that. They run in over 100 schools and colleges across the UK, supporting over 30,000 devices. And what they're giving is students access to the latest technology to enhance their learning experience and prepare students for the best future that they can have. These are the Chromebooks that would be offered to our students for September. It's the Lenovo 500E Generation 2 Chromebook. And what's fantastic about these are the flexibility, the things that they can offer. So they're a 360 device. They can be flipped around, so that the screen can just be seen, or they can be typed on and they have a keyboard. They come with a stylus and they're a touch screen. They are one of the best out there for Chromebooks, and the students will really benefit from this high technology that they provide. Within it, they have all the sort of functions that are needed in terms of USB connections, micro SD card readers, things to plug into for microphones, for headphones, so that they can listen to things if they need to, without anyone else having to hear it as well. They have all of that on those Chromebooks, so students can put in, their USB stick if they wanted to import some work onto their cloud drive if they hadn't had it before, and connect things in other ways as well. So what's included within this programme? It's a secure online ordering portal, which I will go through in a few slides' time. Payments are via direct debit for the Chromebooks, and payments are spread over time. So there are options of cash 12, 24 or 36 months. And it's up to parents to look at that and decide which is the best option for them. Like I've said before, there is no personal credits, everyone is approved. It's a 36-month swap out warranty. So what that means is anything that happens, they can swap out their device, and it has also comes with that 36-month accidental damage and theft insurance. So if something's damaged on it, or it is stolen or lost, there is a replacement for it. It also comes with a protective sleeve, so ensuring whilst travelling to and from school, it can go in there so it's safe and secure in their backpacks. There's also support and help desks that are provided for those insurance and warranty claims that are given to you, so you have all of that information. And that device can be used at college, at school, at home, wherever the students are. And the devices, the students, once that final payment has been made. So in terms of ordering your child's Chromebook, to be able to order it, it is open and the portal is live. You need to go to www.techforlearners.co.uk. And there is at the end of this a QR code that you can scan, and it will give you all of the information you need as well. And we will provide copies next week in our parent induction. When you put that web address in, it will come up with a welcome page, and it will ask you to put in an email address, which would be your own personal email address. It will ask for a username, and that username needs to be Townley 2022 with a capital T. And then it would ask for that password. So you need to ensure that you have that information to be able to order your child's Chromebook. I just want to make parents aware as well, if your child has pupil premium, please contact admissions@townleygrammar.org.uk, as there is a different username for you to be able to access the Chromebook, so that the funding is supported for your child with pupil premium. So that's how you log on to be able to get set up and to be able to order your Chromebook. Those Chromebooks need to be ordered by the 8th of July. And what that will mean is that if you've ordered one by the 8th of July, there is a delivery, so that we will have them for the 2nd of September, which is your child's first day at school, and we will be able to issue them with their Chromebooks on that first day, and they can start their school journey with their Chromebooks. If you wanted to order after that, it wouldn't be able to be provided for the 1st and the 2nd of September. It would be a much later delivery if you missed that deadline. So please, if you are ordering a Chromebook, it's really, really important that it's done by the 8th of July. So I'm just going to go through some questions that we have received over the last few weeks since we introduced the Chromebooks back in May. So one of the questions parents have been asking is, can their child use their own device? And the answer is yes, they can. If you have a Chromebook for them or a device for them that you would prefer them to use rather than purchasing a Chromebook, you can do. The only thing that you would need to do is purchase a Google license from us, and it's around £30 to £35 to be able to access the Townley workspace that would be used and utilised throughout. So that would be the only thing that you would need to do if it was their own device. But if they have a Chromebook or you would like them to use it, then they can use their own. But just remember with that if it was stolen or broken in school or on the way to school, there's no cover from school for that or no warranty like the scheme has. If anything happened under the programme that we're offering you, there's a swap in, swap out, or a fix to the Chromebook if anything to happen to it. So just being aware that if they do and anything happens to it, it will have to be fixed with you as parents rather than us being able to, as a school, sort that through a warranty. What about writing? Dr. Finch covered that a little bit earlier, but I want to assure parents that this isn't a replacement for writing. It is vital that our students are still able to write, and every student will still have, whether it's paper or exercise books and classes, most lessons will have an element of writing, and it's important that they have that skill and they can do that, because when they get to exam times at GCSE and A-level, they will have to write in those exams. So we will never lose that, and we will never expect our students to be continuously using Chromebooks. As Dr. Finch said, they are there to enhance our lessons, not to replace things that we already do, but to enhance them and make them better and provide a better education for your children. So writing will never be a problem, and we will continue to ensure our students are writing all the time. What if a Chromebook is broken or forgotten? We want to ensure our students remember their Chromebooks each day. We wouldn't have replacements or ones that can be borrowed in school if students did forget them. So if they did forget it, they wouldn't have a Chromebook for the day if they were being utilised in the lessons, and they would have to, maybe share a screen with a student or use a different way of accessing what they need to. But if a Chromebook was broken or something was wrong with it, through the programme that's offered, there'll be a way in which that can be reported, and if it's fixable, it'll be fixed. Otherwise, there'll be a replacement Chromebook for your child so that they can continue to use it. What about safety to and from school? So I think some parents are worried they'll be carrying a Chromebook to and from school, and the safety, and would it put them at risk? And our experience from talking to other schools that have been running this for years is it doesn't affect their safety. They are lightweight, they are small, they can be put in the bags, and as long as students aren't walking around the streets with them out, typing on them, they will be safe. They are very subtle Chromebooks that can be put in their bags, and I don't think it would ever cause a problem. We don't know of any school that's had a problem with that, so please don't worry. And many students walk around at the moment with expensive AirPods and phones, and they don't have issues with safety, so we can't see it being a problem with having those Chromebooks. Will my daughter's device be managed? So what I think this question was asking was, how is a device managed in terms of what they can access through the Chromebook? And what's great about this is that as a school, we manage what is on those devices, and they are there to be for education. So if your child had said, I'm going upstairs to work on my Chromebook to do my homework, I can guarantee that they will be upstairs working on their homework, because they wouldn't be able to access Netflix or anything else through it, because the things that we're managing on that are for education specifically. We're not going to provide them with access to things that we don't want them to access during their working time. So those aspects will not be there. If as parents you want your child to access them, we can turn on and turn off things for individuals. But at the moment, the management of that is with us, and we can make sure that the aspects that they are, the tools that they are accessing are education tools, and they're not being able to get up social media or anything else within that. I think the last question, I don't know why it's not on there, there was one about the safeguarding as well in terms of these devices. And like I said, with the device management, that because we are managing those devices, we can safeguard our students and ensure they're not accessing things that they shouldn't, so that they are being protected within that. And that's the sort of reassurance for you as parents that those devices are being managed. And we can actually monitor and see as well what students have been accessing as well. So if you are watching and you have a smartphone in front of you and you wanted to open your camera and hold your camera up to the QR code, that will open up for you, hopefully, a guide to ordering your device. It gives you all the information, the costs, and the options that you have. It also provides on there the web address and the username and password that I showed you in an earlier slide as well. So if you would like to use that QR code to access that guide, we will also be providing physical copies of them on Tuesday when you come in next week. So what are the next steps? We have our Year 7 induction, Parents' Evening on the 28th of June. And like I said, we'll issue parents with a guide on Chromebooks and how to order them. Please ensure that you order a Chromebook by Friday the 8th of July, and that will ensure that your child will have their Chromebook on the 2nd of September when we return to school. And if I could please ask you again, there is the web address there for it, but if you do the QR code, could I ask you please to complete a very short survey as we come to the end? This is just asking you, or giving you an opportunity, to ask any further questions if you feel that they haven't been covered this evening. I have also put into there the details of how to order your Chromebook through that if you need to. And also we just would like to find out from parents in terms of how many of you will be ordering a Chromebook so that we can ensure we are ready for September. I think I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us this evening and giving us an opportunity to present to you this exciting sort of development and next steps for us as a school with regards to Chromebooks. And we really are as a school excited for our Year 7s to have them in September and really enhance their learning and their education in the classroom and give them fantastic technology to develop them in this 21st century world. So thank you very much for attending, and may I wish you a really lovely evening. Thank you very much.